has an opportunity to go up and grab the lead with 30 laps to go. Ray?
And Adam, you talked to Todd Bodine about his success on the mile and a half. It's been 21 races since his last victory, which came at Texas, and Todd is aware of that. They're also aware of Hornaday's situation. They've definitely been keeping an eye on that left rear. Hornaday a good bit, though, ahead of the number 30 right now, who runs in third. Adam?
You can't say enough about Brian Eichler in the 18. Started in the top 10 today. His run in the top 10 most of the day. The only time he was not there is when there was a miscue on pit road. It did not affect him at all. He maintained his composure, and that's why he finds himself in contention right now in the 4th position. Just behind him, another Toyota, Johnny Benson in the 5th position, making his 2nd start of the year in that truck. They played pit strategy just after the red flag, took 2 tires. He led a handful of laps, but unfortunately that strategy may take him out of an opportunity to win as he currently rides 5th. Ray?
And right behind JB is the number 31 of James Busher. I told you earlier that this is a brand new chassis. Number 11, and this is the prototype of what they're trying to build at Turner Motorsports. Expect the next 2 or 3 brand new chassis to be identical to this one. Busher has said he can't believe how smooth this truck is through the center of the corner. He really believes they're on to something as they continue to learn in a brand new race team. Adam?
Jason White currently occupies the 7th position, and we should not be surprised that White is running good here today. His first ever career top 10 came here at Kansas 1 year ago. And right behind White on track, the 51 of Eric Almirola. It has been a yo-yo day for him as well, but he finds himself in contention late in the race. He entered the day 2nd in Truck Series points, and he has an opportunity to really gain on Peters, who has struggled here this afternoon. Next in line, the 5 of Mike Skinner. We talked to him during the red flag. He said, I don't have a dog that can win here today. Of course, he won this race 1 year ago. A brand new race truck. They have tried some new technology, but unfortunately, they will have to go back to the drawing board after this event. And rounding out the top 10, Ken Schrader. We talked to him on our setup show earlier this afternoon, driving that 2 truck for Kevin Harvick. He said the boss reminded him, I'm leading the owner points going into this race. No doubt Schrader knew how much success that truck had with Harvick behind the wheel earlier this year, and I think the old man is doing him proud. He sits 10th as we have just over 30 laps to go.
The gap between 1 and 2 has now been closed to a half a second between Johnny Sauter and Ron Hornaday. Can Sauter hold off Hornaday? There's only 25 laps remaining at Kansas Speedway. The rain's gone away, the sun's shining down. Who will shine on the brightest at the end of this race? Tomorrow night, get your NASCAR fix with NASCAR Race Hub. Get the latest NASCAR news and information and hear straight from the drivers and crew chiefs when they stop by the garage to hang out and talk racing. NASCAR Race Hub presented by Hooters tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
Jimmy McMurray's going to be in the hub this week. Shane Wilson, Clint Bowyer's crew chief's going to be in the hub, and we're going to follow Tony Stewart doing a media ride around in Charlotte tomorrow. We're going to be there and cover that.
How about this battle? When we went away, it was just under a half a second. Now it's about a quarter of a second between the 13 and the 33. Hornaday is closing in on the lead.
Got some traffic up ahead, too. These guys have been negotiating lap traffic, seemingly lap after lap. Sauter got through it better the last lap. Looks like it's cost him a little bit of his lead this lap. Voice see Hornaday close in there.
His voice went up a little bit. Here he goes to the inside.
We got a battle for the lead.
Yes, Brent Raymer right in front of him. Hornaday will go to the flat if he needs to.
Hornaday on the bottom of the racetrack. The 13 of Johnny Sauter. Just inches away from Hornaday as they go through the tri-oval into 1 and 2. The battle continues for the lead.
Hornaday not quite able to clear him.
That was a good corner for Sauter around the top of the racetrack. Look at the momentum it gave him. Keeping that truck wound up high, but Hornaday can drive so hard down into the corner, gives him an advantage.
Jack Smith just in front of them in the 63.
I was talking
how that works.
Talking to some of these guys, and the challenge here at Kansas is getting the truck tight enough to drive down into the corner, Phil, but then be free enough when you try to exit the corner. It's a delicate balancing act.
Ooh, Jack Smith got really sideways right behind Hornaday.
Yeah, still trying to hang on to it. Looks like he's caught his breath now.
Looked like he almost ran into Hornaday and tried to turn the wheel hard to the left to keep from hitting Ron, and when Ron went by, it about spun him out.
Hornaday checks up, so he loses about 3 truck lengths on Johnny Sauter.
Getting down inside, 20 to go. Battle's heating up.
18 laps remaining from Kansas Speedway. Johnny Sauter still in front of Ron Hornaday. Sauter has been up front 83 laps now. Hornaday runs second. Todd Bodine is third. Brian Eichler fourth. Johnny Benson in the fifth position. Buscher, White, Almirola, Skinner, and Dillon are your top 10. Schrader has dropped out of that top 10 spot now to 11th.
This is interesting. Sauter went to the high side, held off Hornaday, and it looks like been able to put a little ground on him.
He's now actually the faster on the racetrack than Ron Hornaday is.
Another half-second gap between the two.
Now your truck, you know, Phil, the truck will handle, Ron's truck will handle a lot differently when he finally gets right up to Sauter. It'll take the little bit of that air off the nose. You use that air on the nose to hold those front tires in the road so you can drive it. And when that gets disrupted like it is when he gets right up on Sauter, it changes the game a little bit. And Sauter found a line around the top of the racetrack where he was able to keep ahead of Hornaday.
That was a great turn 3 and 4 for Ron Hornaday. He gained a 1/10 of a second that lap. He put his left sides right like he is now, right below the white line, and gained about a 1/10 through 3 and 4. It was noticeable how much he gained on him.
And I think what you said sort of echoes what I talked about earlier. These guys are to get their trucks tight enough entering the corner where Ron can drive so deep in there like we see him do. It's really hard to keep the truck from not pushing the front end, not wanting to go up the hill, exiting the corner, costing him all his momentum down the straightaway. It seems as if both these trucks are pushing off the turns. The front end the front of the truck doesn't want to turn when they're exiting the corners. Watch them as they leave too. See how close they can stay down to that white line, or do they wash up? There goes Sauter up, and here comes Hornaday up.
Not quite as much as Sauter, although that was a good corner for Sauter that time.
Skinner to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Austin Dillon trying to take the spot away. He will get 9th from Mike Skinner. So Austin Dillon moving toward the front.
What a nice job by Austin Dillon. Remember, he was Aaron's lucky dog when the rain came out, so he had to restart this race from the very, very tail of the field, and he's made his way all the way up now to the 9th position.
This looks like Skinner's starting to fade a little bit. Schrader's got his eyes on him for that top 10 finishing spot. Last time by, Schrader was about a 1/10 faster than you see Schrader right there hooked up on the back.
13 laps of racing to go.
There's the easy go on board by Ken Schrader. Started 12th, right now running 11th. Has his sights set him, as you mentioned. Mike Skinner try to get this truck in the top 10. Remember, this truck came into this race leading the owner points.
The battle for the lead is heating up once again. Johnny Sauter just in front of that 33 of Ron Hornaday, and now some more slower lap traffic will come into play.
What a corner by Hornaday. You saw Sauter go high. Hornaday pulls right to the rear bumper, moves to the inside.
Here comes Hornaday trying to make the pass as they go into turn 3. He's going to have to slow down now. Both of them sideways. Sauter keeps it going straight. Hornaday's going to save it. They stay 1 and 2.
I can't believe NASCAR didn't throw the caution, because I thought they'd wreck, but NASCAR was smart, kept the caution flag in the flag stand, and we're still racing green. Those guys are at it.
Unbelievable.
Got to get back up to speed.
Oh, they're getting up to speed.
But they are nose to tail still, and now headed down the backstretch. 1 and 2. Sauter in front of Hornaday.
That was incredible.
They still have a huge lead over Todd Bodine right now, who runs 3rd.
Bodine back 7.2 seconds from this duo, and this is what happened last time. They went around Norm Benning in the 57, and right up the racetrack when Hornaday, he caught the 13, and they slid sideways. And amazingly enough, they straightened it back out again.
I couldn't believe Sauter saved his truck, but I darn sure couldn't believe Hornaday did. He had those back tires smoking all the way down to the grass to keep it going in the right direction.
What do you think Todd Bodine was thinking while all this was happening? He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to win this thing.
He was so far behind, he never saw it. Watch this now.
Out. Look how close these two are. Hornaday to the inside. They've got to deal with this lap traffic. And the lap traffic is side by side, so Hornaday just tries to move up the hill.
I think he got sideways before he even got there. That's why he made contact with Johnny Sauter. He got sideways. He got sideways right there, had to chase his truck up the hill.
Look how sideways those guys are. They're wrecked.
They're crashed. They crashed.
Both of them are completely sideways through 3 and 4. Right along with Johnny Sauter. You're going to be facing the infield here in just a moment.
You can hear the contact.
Look at Hornaday.
And Sauter made contact with the outside wall. Hornaday's down on the flat.
remember, try to put this in